After the horrors of Order 66, the Star Wars galaxy was forced to adapt to a new status quo. Palpatine reshaped the Republic into the first Galactic Empire and propped himself up as its all-powerful ruler. Although there was peace, it was tempered with a constant fear of reprimand, punishment, and death. The Empire was oppressive and legalistic, but it was exponentially worse for Jedi. Some went into hiding, and some tried to change their identity, but most of them were hunted down and killed. The only way for a Force user to ensure his or her survival was to join the thing they despised the most. They had to side with Palpatine and become an Inquisitor. It was a rough life, learning hints of the dark side from Darth Vader while hunting down other hidden Jedi. It was a life of fear and hate, and the only way to appease Vader was to become more ruthless and more powerful. So let's take a look at all of the Inquisitors and rank them according to their power level. Most Inquisitors in Disney's canon have received decent backstories, but one of them hasn't. E.K. Johnston's Crimson Climb recently introduced a new Inquisitor. The novel detailed Kira's rise in Crimson Dawn, and at one point she went hunting Jedi artifacts at a temple. There, she found the body of a dead Imperial Inquisitor. With no other information, they naturally come in last on our list. Tualan Yahuna and Iskat Akaris were Jedi companions during the Clone Wars, and they were together during Order 66. They could feel Jedi dying, but they weren't gunned down. Palpatine had selected Iskat to be an Inquisitor, so she left the scene alive. Tualan wanted to fight and be killed, but he was only wounded. He was taken to Coruscant, where he was tortured until he broke. Iskat, now the 13th sister, and Tualan became Inquisitor rivals, but over time their friendship rekindled. In fact, Iskat wanted to kill Vader so that they could be free together. Unfortunately for them, Vader sensed their feelings. They fled, but the Dark Lord hunted them down, using the Force to have them impale each other on their lightsabers. They were both competitive and skilled Inquisitors, but they conspired against Vader, and their foolishness is what lands them so low on our list. Next, we have the fourth sister, and there's actually not much information about her. She was the green-skinned Inquisitor in Kenobi who didn't do very much. Her only other appearance was in the Fortress Vader comic series. In Star Wars Adventures Return to Vader's Castle, issues number 4 and 5, a Rebel Alliance commander named Lena Graf was trapped in Vader's castle. To get away from Vader's servants, she dressed up in the Fourth Sister's Inquisitor armor. We don't know how Graf got the armor or how the Fourth Sister died, but she survived longer than Tualan and Iskat, so she ranks higher. In 10th place is the Ninth Sister from Jedi Fallen Order. Before she served the dark side, her name was Masana Tide, and she never wanted to be an Inquisitor. But after surviving Order 66, she was tortured and broken. Because of her Hulk-like size, the Ninth Sister was intimidating. However, she wasn't very effective. She lost 2 lightsaber duels to Cal Kestis, and she lost her right hand in the process. She also lost a leg to the sixth brother, and she once tried to let Vader die when bounty hunters attacked him. So, while the Ninth Sister was daunting, she was far from the Inquisitorius' best. The eighth brother was also kind of incompetent. While many Inquisitors were sent after Jedi, the eighth brother was tasked with hunting Maul. In Star Wars Rebels, he finally caught up to the former Sith Lord, but Maul had some unexpected allies in Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka. Being impulsive and prideful, the eighth brother actually attacked the 3 Jedi alone and without a plan. When he started to lose the fight, he retreated, and later in the episode, a similar action led to his demise. Even though the eighth brother was more capable than the ninth sister, his actions proved that he spent more time running than doing his job. Next up is Bill Valen, who became the sixth brother. He was a particularly arrogant and aggressive Inquisitor, and he even cut off the ninth sister's leg. But none of that was enough to save him from Vader, who easily removed his arm during a lightsaber training session. He occupies a low place on our list because he was easily killed by Ahsoka. Not Master Ahsoka, a depressed after Order 66 Ahsoka. There were 2 versions of their conflict, one in Tales of the Jedi and one in E.K. Johnston's Ahsoka novel. But in both versions, Ahsoka didn't have a lightsaber and the sixth brother still met his end. The Mary Allen's seventh sister comes next. She replaced the Grand Inquisitor in Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, and from the very beginning, she was a middling villain. She only rose to prominence after many of the other Inquisitors were killed, and she had to combine her brains with the fifth brother's brawn to even resemble a credible threat. Yet she did outlive many of her peers, so she has to occupy a higher spot than some of them. After seeing Reva in Kenobi, some fans might think that she should be ranked pretty high. but she had some deficiencies as an Inquisitor. She was especially cunning and resourceful, and she could even probe people's minds. Her skills with a lightsaber were also admirable, but her skills with the Force were tenuous. Vader, Kenobi, and the fifth brother were all able to break through her Force defenses. On top of that, Reva was rash and impulsive, and her whole reason for being an Inquisitor was to gain enough power to kill Darth Vader. Because of that, it's honestly a surprise that she survived as long as she did. The fifth brother was a rival to Reva, but he ranks one spot higher because he was more patient. In the early days of the Inquisitorius, he lost an arm to Vader, learning quickly to play by the rules. Then, after a few of his colleagues were killed, many thought that he was the most powerful Inquisitor left. Yet he was short-sighted, and although he was strong with the Force, his lightsaber skills were lacking. He wanted to be brutal, but in the end, his brutality was outmatched by Maul. One of Disney's newest Inquisitors is Marok. He was introduced in Dave Filoni's Ahsoka series, and he was pretty mysterious. During the New Republic, he worked as a bounty hunter, but before that, we don't know anything. Maybe he was a secret Inquisitor only reporting to Vader or Palpatine. Either way, he must have been pretty powerful because he survived the age of the Empire and put up a reasonable fight against a very skilled Ahsoka. Coming in at third place is the former Jedi Master Prosit Dibs. During the Clone Wars, Dibs was ashamed of the Jedi's growing role as warriors for the Republic. He even confronted Master Windu about it, and although he was blind, he put up a good fight before Windu could arrest him. Dibs was imprisoned for the rest of the war, but afterwards, he willingly joined the Inquisitorius and became the 10th brother. He deserves a high spot on our list because, unlike most of the Inquisitors, he achieved the rank of Jedi Master before turning to the dark side. He had great potential for power, but unfortunately, he met an early end. One of his Jedi targets mind-tricked Purge troopers into re-executing Order 66. Dibs didn't have a chance and was immediately gunned down. Taking the second spot on our list is the second sister. Originally a Jedi named Trilla Siduri, she survived Order 66, but her master gave her up while she was tortured. So the Empire found Trilla, tortured her, and transformed her into the second sister. Rising through the ranks, she quickly became the best of the best. She was aggressive, effective, brilliant, and cruel. Unlike the ninth sister, she thwarted Cal Kestis at every turn, and only lost because Cal was able to play on her emotional past. Some believe the second sister was more powerful than the Grand Inquisitor, but we choose to disagree. Palpatine, not Vader, chose the Grand Inquisitor to lead his Inquisitorius because of his pre-existing disdain for the Jedi. Before Order 66, the Grand Inquisitor was a temple guard. However, he wasn't a master, and thus he wasn't allowed to study the depths of the Jedi archives. So when Palpatine recruited him, he was promised that and more. Upon joining the Inquisitorius, the Grand Inquisitor pored over the archives, and as a result, he could determine a Jedi's fighting style and lineage in seconds. Using that information, he was able to garner more Jedi kills than any other Inquisitor. But what do you think? Should the Grand Inquisitor be ranked number 1? Should the ninth sister be ranked so low? And what do you think of Prosit Dibs' fate? Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and for more Star Wars content, check out one of the videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.